Meanwhile, India's ambassador to Russia, Vinay Kumar, spoke exclusively to Jessica Taneja in Moscow. Take a listen.
Mr. Narendra Modi will be in Moscow at the invitation of President Vladimir Putin. Joining us to discuss more on this is India's ambassador to Russia, Vinay Kumar. Thank you, sir, for speaking to DD India.
Welcome.
What can we expect from the visit? It's been 5 years. There's a lot on the agenda. Share to our audiences as to what could be dominating the discussions and what all can we expect.
India and Russia have had the practice tradition of annual summit since the year 2000. This was disrupted. Last annual summit was in 2021 when President Putin visited India. So this visit of Prime Minister to Russia is in the first place resumption of the annual summit between the leaders. Second, there is a very multifaceted relationship between India and Russia. So we expect discussions between the leaders to cover all those aspects, both bilateral issues and dimensions of its relationship, but also the regional and global issues of mutual interest will be discussed between the leaders.
Talks about diversifying trade ties beyond energy and defense sectors. Tell us something about that.
In fact, trade ties have diversified. India-Russia trade in 2021-22 was to the tune of $9-10 billion, which has now gone beyond $60 billion. In fact, last financial year, it was $64.5 billion. So this is diversification of trade so many times. Import from Russia, crude, coking coal, fertilizers, they all have increased in last few years. What we are working on is diversifying exports from India, in both in terms of the basket of commodities which we export to Russia and also the volume. So we have two tasks: one, to diversify and expand exports from India, and also take steps and think of ways and means of sustaining this high level of trade which we have recorded in last couple of years.
This visit is being closely watched globally as well. And how significant do you think this visit from the Prime Minister is to Moscow, given the current geopolitical climate?
Leaders will talk about all aspects, all issues, including geopolitical situation and recent developments. But for us, this visit is very important given the deep and important issues that we have in our bilateral relationship. So the focus of the visit is more towards bilateral issues, but certainly I cannot preempt what other issues, and certainly they will talk about many other issues when they meet over various sessions in the course of these 2 days.
Right, and in the 2 days, what all is lined up in terms of the itinerary between the two leaders? Tell our viewers as to what are we going to expect the two leaders do in the next 2 days?
We are expecting a welcome, warm welcome of the Prime Minister here in Moscow. There would be a private meeting between President Putin and Prime Minister. Then there would be also the wreath laying ceremony that is very traditional in nature, very solemn function. Indian community is looking forward to welcome Prime Minister in their midst after a gap of number of years actually. In fact, this will be Prime Minister's first visit to Moscow after 2015. So there is that enthusiasm in the community to welcome him. And then there is a series of bilateral talks in restricted format, in delegation level format, also exchange of bilateral documents, and the events which will take place in Kremlin. So there is quite a busy hours on 8th and 9th of July.
Right, and a lot of diplomatic parley awaits. Thank you, Ambassador, for speaking to DD India and taking our time. Appreciate it.